Alright, y'all, we back with another one. To say it's been a while would be an understatement. A week in internet time is 15 years, and I've been gone for 3 weeks. But I'm back, and I'm back with something super special. So, got this Sade box set for Father's Day. For those of you who don't know, I am a father. This is the complete Sade albums. You know what I mean? We drop them out. One of them does not want to come out. It happens, right? Kind of wants to stay in. These are very pretty. This is my first time actually looking at them. So, we got Soldier of Love, the most recent one, right? Love is Rock. Not a gatefold. I thought it was a gatefold. I tried to open that up. Love Deluxe. Stronger Than Pride, and now this has a completely different feel. This one feels more like a plastic maybe than the previous ones that feel more like a fancy printed paper. Promise, another gatefold, and Diamond Life. So we're gonna spend the next week playing catch up, and we're gonna go through all these Sade albums. But before we get into it, I have a couple quick announcements. Announcement one, I owe an apology to James Brown, his family, and his estate, because after re-listening to Hell Up in Heart, Black Caesar, the Black Caesar soundtrack, I realized that those songs that I talked about as being like cliche 70s music, slap. They super slap. I was wrong. It happens to the best of us. I'm wrong sometimes, you know. But it slapped. It was amazing. It was one song I said kind of sounded like Action 5 News. Upon listening back to it, it was amazing. I forgot the name of it. I'll check again at some point too, so we can go back to it. But today we are starting with the album in my hand, Sade, Diamond Life. The tracks on this album include Smooth Operator, Your Love Is King, Hang On To Your Love, Frankie's First Affair, When Am I Going To Make a Living? Whoa, that was powerful. Cherry Pie, Sally, I Will Be Your Friend, and Why Can't We Live Together? So I didn't give you any insight into who Sade was. I just went into saying I got this box set. So Sade is a band and a singer. I recently learned that the name of the band is Sade, as well as Sade being the name of the lead singer. Very famous. I would say that the music that they make, it hinges on soul and R&B and jazz. Somewhere in that frame of music, it kind of dances between the three. And it's dope. It's amazing music, and we're gonna get into it right now. So let's talk about it. So before we jump into it, I never did show y'all the inside of the gatefold. This is what it looks like when you open it up. You get a list of the band members and who they are and what they're doing, what they play. You also get a list of the tracks and a special thanks section. But we came back to talk about the music. So let's talk about it. This album is amazing. It is musically powerful. It's strong. I would say that listening to this album, this is one of the records that makes me happy I own a record player. I've heard the first track off this album, Smooth Operator, 1,000 times. It plays basically everywhere in my life. And for one, I didn't know it started with a spoken word. So hearing this version is proof positive of why it's important to like buy albums, or even if you listen to music streaming, listen to the streaming version of like this song from the album, because I've heard the greatest hits version of the song a million times, and now I know that the actual album version of the song starts off way differently. And then we get past that little spoken word section into the version of the song that I've known and heard so many times before. And when the drums enter in the chorus, after she said she's a smooth operator, I felt it inside my body. like it was a vibrational experience. It was different than it had been before. I've never heard the drums sound that way. To give you more context about the lyrics of the song, particularly Smooth Operator, it's about exactly what it sounds like, the smooth operator. A young man, or maybe an older man, I don't know his age, I'm making assumptions and I'm taking liberties, but it's about a man who kind of just goes from place to place, breaking hearts, loving women and leaving them in the dust. And it's lyrically well done. The way she talks about him is so poetic. He has eyes like an angel, but he has a cold heart. Just the way she's describing this man is to the T. Just a great picture. You get a picture of him. You kind of get a picture of his moral sense and his moral compass, and the way he travels throughout the world. So just great song. Your Love Is King is the next song on this album, and it comes on with this sultry saxophone, and Sade eventually joins in, and I'm of the belief that anytime a song that comes out before 1990 says your love or my love more than 3 times, they're probably talking about sex. And this song did not prove me wrong. It's a seductive, slow, syrupy song about how good this person's love is that she's dealing with, and how it's crowned, and it goes from these kind of subtle remarks about it, and tongue-in-cheek, and the kids don't know what we're talking about, but all the adults know, to being like a little bit more straightforward, to her even having like references to coming, right, having orgasms about how good the love is. You know what I mean? Another song that I've heard a million times on Love. Again, there's a saxophone breakdown. The saxophone is my favorite character on this song, next to the voice of Sade, of course. And then we get into the more poppy songs on the album. One of the more poppy songs on the album, which is Hang On To Your Love. Very, very fun, very upbeat. Just a cool song about staying with the person you love. And then after that, we get into my personal favorite. Actually, both of my favorites on this album run back to back. And the first one is Frankie's First Affair, which is just, it's the first time that Sade goes for it, with her vocal reaches. It's the first time she's really singing at us and getting loud with us and letting us know that about how serious she can be vocally. Again, it features my favorite character throughout this album, that saxophone. And lyrically, it's kind of amoral, and I appreciate that. Upon first listening, I thought it was just a song about somebody who's been, much like Smooth Operator, running left and right, breaking hearts, and now they finally had their first affair with love, and they realized that it hurts. It doesn't feel good, But it turns out to be the complete opposite, which took me for a loop. I looked up the lyrics, and it turned out what's actually going on is this person who's been run over by love so many times, had so many heartbreaks, has been cheated on so many times. So many of their partners have had affairs and stepped out on them. And they end these relationships. Maybe they held resentment. Maybe they thought these people couldn't have cared about them and cheated on them, only for the main character of the song, Frankie, to go out and have an affair on a partner that they're with right now, and just had to reflect on all these partners that had affairs on against them and stepped out of their relationship, and kind of have to have a realization of maybe those people did care about me because I care about this partner I'm currently cheating on. And Sade is almost like teasing Frankie about it. Like, it's kind of like mean. But Sade is taking it there vocally, and the music surrounding her on this song emphasizes everything. Even towards the end of the song, it feels like her and the saxophonist go out having a duet with each other. and it's amazing. It's wonderful. Leading into my next song, "When Am I Gonna Make a Living," which is it's this amazing song about accountability and perseverance and and um, and struggling and strife and poverty and overcoming, and it sounds like New York to me. You know, it sounds like New York. There's this amazing chant on it that takes me out every time, at least every time I listen to it on the record player. Again, I promise you, there's a benefit to listening to music in an analog form, because as I listen to the song on my TV later on, I listen to it on my phone, my headphones later on, that chant, it just doesn't come through with as much power. It doesn't mean as much. The chant is, we're hungry but we won't give in. And it's just, it just, I can feel it through the speaker system as where I can hear it through other mediums of listening to music. But again, amazing song. Leading us over to side B, Cherry Pie, which is, again, one of those songs that gives me that smooth operator feel of it's just so well written, speaking to a fun relationship, speaking of this person who Sade dated, who is sweet as cherry pie but wild as Friday night, but they knew that change would come and strangle it and kill this whole affair. The beat around this song is, at least in my opinion, the most fun. You know what I mean? The most upbeat, the one that feels most like a party to me. Which leads us into Sally, another one where the saxophone just slows down, it brings you down. It's interesting to me the way that this album takes tempo and kind of puts it back and forth. It kind of goes up tempo, down tempo, up tempo, down tempo. I don't know if that was intentional in the laying out of the tracks, but it definitely takes me to a place. Sally, again, is super well written song. Another one of those songs that took me for a loop when I looked up the lyrics, because originally I thought, oh, Sally is just some woman that's taken in men, you know, the most beaten back down by life men, and Sade uses the verses to define these men and what they're going through and what they've been through, and they're just down on their luck, and she uses the chorus as a way to commend this woman Sally for taking in these men who have been through so much and always having space for them. And after looking up the lyrics, it turns out Sally is actually the Salvation Army, and it's like, oh, I would have never guessed that. I thought this was just some woman, you know. But this person who seems like they're just some woman is actually the Salvation Army. The next song, "I Will Be Your Friend," dope. Another is the lyrical themes on this album I super love. This is a song about platonic love, right? And really caring about somebody. And it almost seems like this person they're talking about was once a romantic lover, but it's just about always being there, always being able to show up and caring about a person. And Sade's version of caring about a person so much that they're always going to be there for them. And just, mwah. Unfortunately, I made it through a lot of this album without any complaints. I made it all the way to the last song, actually, without any complaints. But then we get to "Why Can't We Live Together," which, before I get to the complaints, let me tell you what I love about it. So it comes in with the Congo drums, or the bongo drums, I want to say, but the hand play drums. You guys know what I'm talking about, and it kind of lures you in, and it's like it continues to be musical as all the instruments join in with the drums. The guitar comes, the bass guitar comes. Pardon me. The saxophone comes, and they just kind of play you in and lead you to this place. And then Sade comes in, and Sade, again, her voice is always astounding. and she gets into the lyrics, and it's like these lyrics fall flat. It's a song about world peace and us all being together, and it's unfortunate that on an album that so wonderfully writes about love and romance and fidelity and infidelity and poverty and accountability and lost love and just so eloquently talks about all of these topics. When it comes to the topic as heavy as world peace, kind of just, gives me lyrics I feel to be cliche and easy and simple. But what I will say is that the Why Can't We Live Together song, however, is not a song written by the band Sade. It is a cover of a song by Timmy Thomas, and that Timmy Thomas song, Why Can't We Live Together, went on to famously become the sample from Drake's Hotline Bling, one of the biggest hip-hop songs ever. And I will say that as I listened to the original Why Can't We Live Together, it made me appreciate this version more. It made me appreciate the liberties that they took with the instrumentals and the instruments, and the place Sade's voice took it. I would say that Timmy Thomas's version is a little bit more grittier, and I feel like Timmy Thomas's voice is more in tune with what the lyrics are. But again, we can never take anything away from Sade's voice. Sade's voice throughout this album is the star at all points. Even at points where she's not taking us to the 10th level with her voice and she's keeping us at a mellow 3, her voice is always a star. It's an amazing voice. It's a voice that is specific. It contains a accent that and a timbre that is specifically hers. And through listening to this album, I feel like if we can say that James Brown is the godfather of funk, and Michael Jackson is the prince of pop, I feel like it is beyond necessary to title Sade as the godmother of neo soul. When you hear Erykah Badu, when you hear artists like Jill Scott, and you hear D'Angelo and oh my god, Anthony Hamilton, oh my god, please let me get Anthony Hamilton. But when you hear those artists that come from that genre of music, listening to this album, even though this album goes a little bit more poppy than a lot of neo soul music, I can hear the influences of Sade on all of those artists. Sade is an original, is a classic, is an innovator, and this album deserves an award. It deserves the Why I Bought a Turntable award. I bought a turntable for this award. The turntable, the analog version of this record, or the version of the record that plays on my turntable, goes above and beyond any version of any song on this album I've heard before. I'm glad that this is what I'm into, and I'm glad that I have a whole another 4 Sade albums to go that I haven't heard before. So with that said, as always, treat your life like a vinyl collection. Indulge in things you like. Don't be afraid to try something new. Cleanse regularly. And always try your best to avoid static. Peace.